So I wasn't gonna make a video about this at all because, sometimes they say if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And I do have some nice things to say. Wow, who would have thought? And I'm not somebody who's gonna sit here and suck on Marvel's dick, but in reality, they do put out a lot of good stuff. I have enjoyed a lot of the Disney Plus series, some maybe not as much as others. And I understand completely that this is not a show for my demographic. It is not at all. So if you want to come in here and to call me a hater, whatever. I mean, that's your prerogative. You're allowed to do that. But I'm honestly not trashing on this show from a perspective of like a lot of other people where they just hate it to hate it because it's a female-led show. That's not me. I'm criticizing this show because it has real problems. Now, there's some shows like Miss Marvel that, I just did not I didn't vibe with it because it was not for me. Like, there's certain shows that are for me. There are some that I'm not going to connect with as much because they're made for a different audience. And I can completely understand that She-Hulk is that show. But, I'm just wondering, who was this show for? I mean, there's a lot of things, like, I just feel like, is it for the wine moms in their 30s that are watching this show? I mean, that really feels like the target demographic for something like She-Hulk. And, like, it... I really feel like She-Hulk didn't need to be that. It's called She-Hulk Attorney at Law, but yet it was more She-Hulk female problems in the workplace and in life. And it's kind of just like, I understand that, and that's not for me. And, they were writing and catering to a certain audience to where it really seems like it didn't really connect with even a lot of people in that audience as well. Now, there's people that like the show, and you're allowed to like whatever you want, Like, that's not really a problem with me. I mean, there's things that I like that people don't like. Like, I like the first Mortal Kombat movie that ever came out, and there's a lot of people that dump on that. I like Daredevil from the early 2000s. Guess what? Not a lot of people like that movie. So, like, people, you're allowed to like what you like, but the writing in this show is just absolutely terrible. I got through the first 2 episodes and I was like, okay, I kind of like where this is being set up. Of course, people were getting mad because She-Hulk was like, oh, no, I'm good. I've got everything under control. I'm not like you, Bruce. And they were kind of poking fun at being a Mary Sue, but it was also kind of just like they were being self-aware because they knew that they were doing that. So I was kind of like, okay, that's fine. And a lot of this show, there's a lot of being self-aware and poking fun at it, but they were writing to really feed those people that were going to continue to trash on the show. And I really don't think that that was productive for this show. I feel like, it being so meta gets to kind of like a point. Hell, my name on this channel is Meta Geek. I do like things when they get meta. But this show really, especially in the final episode, finally, it jumped the shark for me. It really did jump the shark. And that was when, of course, she breaks out, kind of like she does in the comic books, where she breaks out of comic book panels and then decides, well, I'm going to go talk to Marvel. What is this ending? They pretty much trashed a whole first half of the final episode just so that they could then trash on themselves for writing a trash ending. And if it's kind of like a really self-aware thing like that, you're really starting to push the line. The writers wrote themselves into this episode. That's the level of writing we are dealing with here. So of course, then Jen goes to talk to Kevin, and I 100% thought that Kevin Feige was going to be in this episode. And I'm like, that would have been the final straw for me to be like, okay, this went way too far. But it just pushed the line. And I'm sitting there going, okay, honestly, I felt myself really going like, let's wrap this up. Like, I'm kind of done with this already. The joke has gone on too long. I don't care what's going on now. She meets Kevin. Okay, it's not Kevin Feige. Boom. I did not need that whole entire segment sitting there. And then, of course, they start poking fun at the VFX things. And, of course, if you know anything going on with the VFX artist in the industry, I don't really feel like poking fun at VFX and being like, yeah, nope, that's too expensive. All the VFX artists have gone on to move to Wakanda Forever, which, well, Wakanda Forever is pretty much done by now. I mean, the damn movie comes out next month. It's pretty much in the can. So, like, this whole show, I'm sitting here, there were things I like. I checked out after the second episode. I came back in during the Daredevil episode. And then after the Daredevil episode, I did watch, of course, the finale. And then I went back and watched the rest before I filmed this video. And there was just so much stuff that I was just, like, cringing to get through. And I'm kind of glad that I skipped most of the series, because if I had to wait week on week to keep getting that, it probably would have made me it probably would have made me angrier recording this video. So just like overall, She-Hulk, it really felt below average. It didn't reach up to its potential. There were things that I liked about it. I think that Jen really, like, the character that Tatiana played, she was great. I think she was great. She-Hulk, of course, I didn't like the way she looked. That's just the VFX of it all. But I think that she did a really good job of playing She-Hulk, and I really did enjoy that. There were a lot of actors, and Charlie Cox, of course, killed it as Daredevil. Pretty much everybody in the show was doing what they needed to do, except the writers, because the material they were giving them was just not good. And honestly, if I had to rate it, I believe that this is the worst Disney Plus show that's come out so far. And I hate saying that because I love She-Hulk. I forgot while I was recording this video to put She-Hulk back on here, because I did record this video once before and it just did not turn out to looking really good. But I had She-Hulk right. I like the character of She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters. I mean, it's just really fun to read those comic books, and she is so, like, breaking the fourth wall. She was breaking it before Deadpool. Like, she's a great character, I believe. She's not just a female version of the Hulk. They gave her own personality. And this show, it kind of came through, but just the material and the situation she was in were just not good. Again, it's called She-Hulk Attorney at Law, and she's barely in the courthouse doing actual law. So that's kind of where I feel like this kind of had a shortcoming. If season 2 comes out, hopefully they have different showrunners and writers. But I have a feeling that it's not gonna have that. Of course, all the people are going to, like, the people that actually review stuff that are paid by Marvel pretty much are going to say that no, this show was a hit. It was great. But the audience pretty much has kind of spoken. And outside of the trolls and everybody who wants to, absolutely dump on this just because it's a female-led thing, it's just not really that funny, and it wasn't for me. But I do believe it is worse than almost every other Disney Plus show that has come out, and that's just kind of my final say on that. At least for me, I would not revisit this show anymore, but maybe you liked this show. Let me know if you liked She-Hulk, and if you did, tell me why you liked She-Hulk, because I'm trying to figure out who this audience, like, who this show was for, who is the audience. I really would like to know. So if you liked it, if you liked what they did the entire show, if you'd like to see more of She-Hulk, let me know why, because I would really love to know why. So of course, I've been Jake, aka the Meta Geek, and well, I guess I'll see all you guys next time.